Now we're ready to mirror this top portion. We can start the mirror command. One way of starting the mirror command is to type in MI, or you can go back to the Home tab and find it here under Modify. And now we want to select, by using a window, this top portion. Just as a side note, if you click in space and pull your mouse to the left, everything that's inside the box and crossing over the box will be selected. And we don't want that one. We want to be able to click from left to right. So here we started the mirror command, and now we can click in space here. I'll turn my grid off. I'm turning the grid off so that you can see it better. I can click in space here and pull my mouse across just the top portion so that only the line, the arc, and the other horizontal line are selected. And then right click to enter. And now we're ready to pick our mirror line, which can be anywhere along this horizontal line. I'm just going to go ahead and click inside the center of the big circle, pull your mouse to the right and click, and then enter, because if you watch your command line it says mirror erase select objects, and we don't want them erased, so go ahead and press enter. And so we can create a mirrored image, and you'll see that some of the constraints will follow that geometry. And now they're asking us to trim, so you can type in TR, or you can go to the Home tab and click on Trim, but then press Enter to accept everything as a cutting edge. They, in the book, will ask you to select the boundary edge and then enter. But here we can start the trim command, press enter, and then start to trim out some of these arcs that we don't need in our drawing so that it looks like this. Auto constraint and selecting everything and entering. This extension of this arc and what appears to be the geometry itself is actually the constraint. So what you could do to take that out is to delete this constraint, just this one, and then go back to the radius constraint and select this arc, and then when you click here you'll have the same radius and you won't have those extensions that are based on this parameter. They won't print because they're a part of the hidden parameter, but you can always reestablish it there. And the book is asking us, well, this one's also a little bit off. I could actually just bring this around using grips, because this one doesn't show the extra lines. So we need to reestablish another radius over here. Constraint, we can select radius constraint, select here this arc, and then pick here. I clicked in space after selecting the location of that parameter. We're starting to draw the smaller circles that are inside this assignment. We're on page 8-30 if you're following along in the book. In the Home tab, they're asking us to draw some arbitrary circles that we can establish parameters for and then create the constraints. So you can start circle center radius and just draw here 4 circles. I'm going to go ahead and draw the circles that they have in the book. you won't need the book in order to establish this assignment if you're following this video. And now, instead of using a radius constraint, we're going to use the diameter constraint. So in the Parametric tab, the one right next to it, radius, is diameter. Click on that, select your circle, and then click where you want your text. And let's do that again here for all of these circles. So I'm clicking it, the diameter constraint, I'm selecting the circle, and then I'm clicking where I want the text to be. And then I have to click in space in order to accept that number. That's one way. One way of doing it is to just accept it and then place it. This one here, I'm going to place it, and then I'll type in 20. So these are based on dimensions that they have in the book. I'm going to double click on this smaller one and make this one 10, and double click on this one to show you that you can change it after you've created it and make that one 30, and this first one, double click and make that one 20. So we have circles that are 20, 30, 10, and 20 in diameter. Going back to the original, I did forget to put a radius here. Cleaning up after using auto constraint, so I can go ahead and click on radius and put one here on the original arc. That was 20. And then click in space. Now I'm ready to create a constraint that will lock these two circles together. And there is a tool called Concentric. Concentric is just circles inside of each other. So go ahead and click on that one, and then click on these two circles. And you'll see that the two circles now are constrained to each other based on the same center point. We can also now use that same tool to bring them into place in our drawing. So click on Concentric, select here this outer circle of the two that we use this tool with, click on this, and then click on this outside arc, and it will be put in place so that you have these kind of three concentric circles. Same thing over here. Click on Concentric, click on here this diameter of 20 circle, and click on here this radius of 20. So now we can set up here a horizontal dimension instead of linear to establish a location for the smaller circle. So go ahead and click on horizontal. Now the book says to select the center of the point of the arc, but we want the center of these two circles. Go ahead and click on this inner circle, and then click on the smaller circle here, the 10, and pull your mouse down and click, and then type in 48 and enter. And now we have a dimension of 48 millimeters. I believe this is between the center of this circle and this circle. So now let's go here in the Parametric tab and set up a vertical dimension, which will be from this line again to this circle, and then I'm going to place it here, but I'm going to type in 0 and enter. And by using 0, I'm locking it in line with this horizontal line, or the center of this circle. That's where the constraint was, at the center of that circle. To finish this project, we'll put our name and give it a title. Let's go to the Home tab and pick here the multi-line text. But I'd like to show you something if you haven't seen this before. We can pick multi-line text and then click on a point down here to start the edit box, and then look at your command line. We're going to type in H for height and enter. So we just started the multi-line text command. Click the point, type in H and enter, and then I'm going to use a height like maybe 6 and then enter. And now you can pull your mouse over and click and type in here with your cap locks on, Parametric tools, and then your name. You can highlight Parametric tools by holding your left mouse button down and dragging your mouse across, and then click on here U for underline in the ribbon, and then click in space. Oop. Underline, and then click in space. Okay, if you think that that's text is too big, which it does look a little big, you can double click on it, select the whole thing, and then this is where up at the top you can click on that 6 so that it's highlighted. Type in, let's say 4, and enter. 4 is a little better. You can go ahead and click in space, and there's your title. Now, to get back to creating your portfolio, if this is the course that we're creating a portfolio in, at this point you can save the file and press, as an option, print screen. On the keyboard, if you press print screen, as you go, as you create these assignments and you're creating your portfolio, you can press print screen at the end of your assignment and then right click and paste it into your PowerPoint presentation. And then in your PowerPoint presentation that you're working with, you can right click and pick paste. And what happens here is the whole image comes in. You can double click on the image and click on crop so that you can crop it here by dragging the corners up. Click in here at space, and now you're going to establish that slide for your portfolio. One way of establishing your documentation for this class. You don't need to use PowerPoint if you prefer Word or some other form of documentation. You can. I am flexible with what you've been using for your portfolio. If you haven't started a portfolio yet, PowerPoint is a good program to work with, but you might not have it loaded and you're at home. You might have something else that you can use. Okay, great. All right. Please contact me if you have any questions.